Good day everyone! We're here to teaching you on how to install a Windows 10 on your computer. So first, we need to set up our computer to installing a new Windows. So after setting up our computer, we are now proceeding to step-by-step installation.
So now we got the Windows setup right here. Of course, if you want to modify, match the settings if you want. So for this tutorial, we're gonna leave them on English and then United States and then click the next. From here, it's gonna give us this window. So click on install now. And after clicking install now, it's gonna give us message saying setup is starting. Now, the next part is going to ask to activate the Windows if you have digital key. Feel free to go and type it. And otherwise, for this tutorial, we will just click I don't have a product key and it's gonna be proceed to the next step. So for the next step, it's gonna ask you to choose the type of install that you want to do, and you will to verify your digital code to make sure that you are selecting proper Windows 10 version that matches with your key. And if you have installed Windows 10 previously, it was Windows Home or Windows Education, you're gonna want to select the same thing. Typically, as keys will only work for a certain version. So in this tutorial, we have keys for Windows Pro. So we are gonna click this in Windows 10 Pro and then click the next one. So next step, it's gonna bring us to the application notice and license terms. Of course, we are going to click the accept license terms and click next. So for our next step, since in this tutorial we are going to install and not upgrade, we are gonna choosing a custom install Windows only. So here, as you can see, there are multiple partition. If you have a brand new drive, you only one of that says an allocated space. And if you have multiple drive, you're gonna determine which one you're going to be install operating system on. So in this tutorial, we are going to unplug the type of external drive, anything that we don't need to plug in. Anything aside from the drive that we are going to use for install the Windows 10 to make a little bit of cleaner. After clicking the next, the wizard is now going to go through the process of installing the Windows.
Next procedure is finish setup.
So once the computer comes back up, it's gonna bring to the screen saying getting ready. And next one, the installation has finished. The getting devices or the setting everything up, it's gonna bring up to you where it's gonna ask you to choose your region. But for today's tutorial, of course, we're just going to choose United States and then click yes. And then it's gonna ask you for your correct keyboard layout. Again, for this tutorial, we are using US and click yes. So next, you can add your secondary keyboard if you want by clicking add layout, but today's we don't need that, so we are just clicking the skip. And next, we'll proceed to account setup. So for the next thing to do, if this computer is for a personal use, of course, you're gonna click personal use on setup. And otherwise, you can set up for organization. So in this video, we are clicking setup for personal use and click on next. After that, it's going to ask you to sign in your Microsoft account. But there are options if we are installing just a fresh copy and you had Windows installed in our rig before, we are gonna use the same Microsoft account on that old machine in order to move digital license. So for today's tutorial, we are going to choose a offline account by clicking down here. So here, it's just say to sign in to enjoy full of range, but we are clicking on limited experience. Now it's going to allow to create a local account, does not use a Microsoft account. Now the downside of this is that requires to manually put in our digital key in order to activate a Windows. You can leave without a password. Next is gonna say just a moment and as if do more across device activity history, but we are going to ahead to know I don't need them to have data and also decline digital assistant as well. Those are completely up to you. Same with the privacy settings on our device. These are all up to you, your user preference. For this tutorial, we are going to disable all of this and click the accept. So once again, it's going to just a moment and it's gonna finalize everything and it's gonna tell you hi on screen. And we're getting everything ready for you. This might take several minutes.
For the last procedure is activate window.
So for our activation, come down to this type please start menu, or we can type here to search a word activations. So it's come up right there. It says activation settings and click. It's gonna open up a setting window in the background and it's going to load the activation settings. Now from here, as you can see, because we didn't sign in with a Microsoft account nor did we type in an activation code during the setup, it says Windows reported no product key found on your device. So we are gonna do come on down and click change product key. Here we are gonna want to go ahead and type in product key, click on next, and then next window is going to say activate and click.